Okay.
And so at that point, then I picked up a sponsorship through Cartech. I don't know if you remember Cartech Racing.
No.
So they were here in San Antonio, but they were a Dallas company.
Okay.
Corky Bell, who's huge in the turbo world, he even wrote a book.
Okay.
But they own Cartech. He owned Cartech. So I ended up getting a sponsorship through them. And the sponsorship was, and this was pretty slick, they wanted to start setting up booths at the races. And so they would take a bunch of their merchandise because they were doing fuel systems. They were doing a bunch of stuff before that was even done.
Okay.
Right? They were the ones that really was the innovators on the fuel systems. They had intakes they made for everybody.
Okay.
So anyway, so they said, look, we will tow you everywhere you got to go and we're going to pay your entry. That's a big deal back then, right? I mean, so I had a free ride getting to wherever we needed to go. But they said the first 3 races, you're on your own.
Okay.
So I used my wife's station wagon.
Okay.
And I borrowed a trailer, and it was a front-wheel drive station wagon, Ford station wagon. And I tore her transmission up, but I went, so the very next race is in Bristol.
Okay.
So we went all the way to Bristol, and we won Bristol. And, you know, Gene Deputy, Texas Turbo, those were the fastest guys in the nation. And so he had 2 or 3 guys that were always faster than me, but they were never consistent. And so back to Alamo Dragway, I was able to adapt and like because remember, they're racing at Houston Raceway Park, which is another Ennis. It's a beautiful track.
Yeah.
Great, you know, the track's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're used to it being prep good. So anytime there was a track that had marginal prep, it would just throw them into left field. However, on my end, I'm used to going, it was almost like no prepping from the very beginning.
Gotcha.
Because Alamo Dragway, there was no such thing as prep. It was a knock the dust off in the cow manure and rock and roll. You know what I mean? So I learned to go down that, and so that just helped. So they would go out there and they would number 1 qualify. Man, I didn't worry about it, but I would come in right behind them and then beat them reaction times. And so that's kind of where it all started in 94.
Okay.
So we won the championship Fun Ford Weekend in 94. We followed it up in 95, followed up again in 96, and then I took a break.